Hey, how's it going, everybody? Mike Weber here, your Los Angeles real estate broker, here with your market update for the beginning of July. First off, I just want to say I hope you all had a wonderful and safe 4th of July celebration and a great long weekend if you actually had one. So what's happening with real estate here in Los Angeles? You know, for the most part, it's been an interesting sort of cocktail of events that have transpired. I do think that buyers and sellers are certainly adjusting to the higher rates in the market. You know, obviously we've had rates now elevated for a good amount of time, and the curveball could be that they stay elevated or maybe even go higher for a period of time, you know, which is something that we have experienced in the past in the US during the 70s when Paul Volcker had to raise rates really high to deal with inflation. So, you know, it's really hard to say what's going to happen in the short and maybe even the mid run. But what we're seeing is kind of surprising in that inventory levels are really kind of staying low. And I think that is the main thing at this point that's hindering market activity. It's not even so much the rates. Of course, to a large extent, there are going to be people that are affected by the higher rates and aren't going to decide, you know, to buy and sell real estate. But I presume that the inventory is so low that there's just not even enough inventory for the people who still do want to buy and sell real estate, even if the rates are a little bit higher. So it's kind of an interesting scenario that's playing out, all things considered. I think for that reason, that's why real estate prices in Los Angeles County actually are remaining quite strong, you know, considering the fact that rates are a lot higher than they were a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. But in any case, let's go ahead and jump into the actual data and see what's going on in LA. All right, so first off, if we look at median sales prices, we see we are just down 4.1% from a year-over-year standpoint. So after everything that's happened over this last year and a half, you know, all of the economic uncertainty, the higher interest rates, amazingly, real estate prices are really about the same, you know, just slightly below where they were just a year ago. Now, I do want to say that, of course, it depends on the area, the sub area. Some areas are being affected a lot differently than the county as a whole. But if you just look at the county in general, real estate prices have remained pretty strong. I think if you compare and contrast that to, say, multi-unit property, you probably would see something quite different. A lot of the multi-unit property isn't really selling as easily because of the higher interest rates and how that impacts the total return, the cap rate for the property. But across the board, regardless of that, things are still looking pretty solid in terms of prices. Now, when we move over to closed sales, we see that things have definitely started to pick up, you know, as we would expect for kind of the middle of the year, the kind of peak selling season that we typically see throughout the year. It's nothing exciting compared to years past, but at least we're seeing some more activity, some uptick in activity to some extent. That said, compared to a year ago, we're down about 20% in terms of closed sales. Moving on to pending sales, where we're looking a little bit into the future, like what we're going to probably see in the next month, maybe the next 2 months, and possibly for the rest of the year, things aren't looking as good. In fact, we're down almost 40% from a year-over-year standpoint, but last year, towards the end of the year, pending sales had already started slipping, which means overall we're down pretty substantially from where we typically would be. And it looks like we're here in beginning of July. This could be the trend that we see through the rest of the year, which means a very low overall number of sales, not as much in escrow as we would hope for this time of year. And lastly, when we look at active listings, this is where we really see the issue that's causing pending sales to be low, causing closed sales to be low, and just really stunting any sort of possible transactions and overall sales that could be taking place. And that's because we're down 32.9% year over year from an already poor year in terms of the number of listings that are available on the market. So again, kind of like I shared in the beginning of the video, there's just not much inventory out there for people to choose from, even if they do want to buy, if they don't care about the rates, if they have plenty of money, whatever the case may be, there's just not a lot of inventory out there. Now, all that said, people are still buying and selling. There's always reasons why people need to move and, buy and sell property. So if I can help you guys with any real estate needs, or anybody you know for that matter, reach out to me. I'm here to help. Really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Hope you have a good start to the rest of the year, and I will look forward to seeing you guys again next month. Take care.